Hello there, and welcome to Science Week. We're really pleased to be here. Let me take that off. There we go. Perfect. Okay, I think we're having a couple of technical problems there, but we are now ready to go. So, as you can see on the screen, it's Northern Ireland Science Week, and we've got a couple of things that we're going to do today. So, let me uh, let me work out with you how we're going to do this. We've got a couple of challenges. Challenge one: make an incredible infographic. And you can see there that there is a Waterfax example, bit.ly/NI Northern Ireland Waterfax. And then challenge two, which is make a video of your science facts. And that's what we're going to do today. So uh, we've got Miss McDermott here. She's the boss. She knows what's going on. Good to see you, Rachel. And what you can do is, if you're watching this YouTube link, you can open up that YouTube link and actually see the link that I've got on screen. Now, it might be useful because you can get that bit.ly/NI Waterfacts link just by clicking that button that you can see on the screen, and that's pretty useful. And if you can't see that, don't worry too much. It's fine. We'll be doing lots of different things that you can kind of make up as we go along. So, if you open that little link, bit.ly/NI Waterfacts, then it will bring up this page here. That's it. Now that's what we're gonna use today. And as you can see right now, that's pretty boring. Gotta admit, that's pretty boring. And so what we're gonna do is gonna make that look incredible. And we're gonna do that using Adobe Express. The first thing we're gonna do is make it into an infographic. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is we're gonna make a video using those facts to bring those facts to life. And we're gonna do all of that using Adobe Express. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we're going to start off by making the infographic, and you should follow along with me. You should. And if you ever think, "Do you know what? I could do a little bit of time here just to get myself together and work out how to do things," that's absolutely fine. You can pause this video and then pick up exactly where you left off. But I will be giving you time during this session where you can get creative yourselves. I would recommend, certainly in the first bit, following along with the session, how I'm doing it, and then when you're ready, you can crack on and just try out different things, try out different techniques and things like that. But certainly at the start, try and stay pretty much up to date with what we're doing. And then after I've shown you some spinny things and whizzy things and all sorts of cool things on the screen, you'll have your own time where you can do that too. You'll have your own time where you okay. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off by actually creating my project. And the easy way to do that in Adobe Express is to press the plus there, and then I'm gonna go for custom size graphic. I'm gonna go for custom size. Now, it doesn't really matter what size you're gonna do. If we're gonna follow along together, which is probably the easiest way of doing things, then the easiest one is to start with print, because you might wanna print these off and put them around the school and things like that. We'll start off with print, and I'll start by choosing A4 because that's an easy one for the printer to use. And also, if you wanna print them out smaller, you can always put 2 A4s on one page, and that's an easy way to print off and saves a bit of paper as well. But let me select that A4 one. You can see now it's in gray, and then I'm gonna go to next. Okay. Now the first thing I'll do while that's loading is I'll go to my page, and I'll just grab this title here. You can see Waterfax in the top left, and then I go back into Express. Now it's asking me about templates. Do I want to use a template? But I'm not going to use a template today because actually, I think the way I do it is very simple and also looks really cool. So we're going to do that. We're going to shout out. We got our first shout out of the day. That's great. Good to see you. If you've got any shout outs, stick them in there. That's great. Uh, but I'm going to take that title that I made and we're going to paste it in there. Okay, so we've got Waterfax. The reason why that's a good thing to do is because when you want to search for this project later, You won't have to search through, loads of projects that have the sort of default name "My Project." So giving it a title means it's easier to search for later. Okay, so now that that's done, what I wanna do is I wanna put in a photo, okay? I'm gonna use that as my background to make it look really cool, really striking. I'm gonna select photos on the left-hand side, and mine is all about Waterfax, but if I go back to my Google Doc here, it talks about what have we got here? It talks about glaciers, and it talks about ice, and it talks about, water being in the ocean, and actually, when water freezes, what does it make? Well, it makes things like icebergs. So I think in terms of a really cool photo to search for, I'm gonna search for iceberg and see what comes up. So there's loads of different photos here. You can scroll through. These are all free. They're all safe for educational use, and whichever one takes your fancy, is fine. Maybe, ooh, that one, that looks pretty cool. Now, it just goes in a really small photo, but what I want it to be is I want it to be the background to my whole, infographic. So you can see up on the right-hand side here, it says "Add to background." Let's click that. There you go. You're straight in the background there, and I really like that. It looks cool. Now, don't forget that I also copied my title, which is Waterfax. So I'm gonna put that in as a title. So if I click Add Text on the left-hand side there, gives you all sorts of things that you can use as templates for your text if you wanna do that. But actually, I'm gonna add in my text just as normal text. And you can see you get this little, box up here in the right-hand side, okay? Just double click to edit. It's already highlighted, so what I can do is just, control and paste mine in, and there we go, it's Waterfax. This is gonna be my title. Now I'm gonna stretch the box out. Did you see that little line with the way it turns to the arrows there? I'm gonna stretch it out, and then Waterfax goes onto one line. Now I can drag that around wherever I like. I'm gonna put mine at the top. You see that pink line? The pink dotted line? That means it's completely centered on the page. Really useful. So I'm gonna drag that down there, and you can see on the right-hand side, you can change the color of the font. It's fine, go in and click whatever you want. But actually, I want mine to be brilliant white. I'm gonna drag this little circle in my color palette here all the way to the top left, and it's gonna give me the code, which is all the Fs. Okay, so if you're looking for it, it's all the Fs. Okay, now that that's in there, I'm gonna just select it again, and what it gives you here is these font recommendations down the right-hand side. Okay. Now, you can choose one of the first ones if you want. Change it. That's cool, actually. Quite like that. But you can also explore more. So I'm gonna click, and then you get loads, and you can keep on adding and adding and adding, as many as you like, in fact. So maybe I can't remember which one. That's quite cool. Yeah, maybe I'll use that. Quite cool. So and I'm also gonna use the little circles in the corners just to drag things out. There we go. And then raise it up ever so slightly. There we go. Okay, now I'm happy with that because it's aligned. I know it's in the center because it had that pink dotted line all the way down. I'm happy with the font. You can change things with the font. You can do things like the shape behind it. I don't particularly like that, so I'll just turn it off using that little toggle there. Now you've also got an outline on it. If you've got an outline on it, sometimes a quite cool thing to do is actually use the same color as the font that you're using, and also you can change how thick it is. So that's a way to kind of thicken things up if you want to. So I'm gonna keep it there as about 3, just gives it a little what do you call it, is a stroke. It's a stroke around the outside. Okay, so that's what it's called. So I'm happy with my, header there or my title there. And the next thing I'm gonna do is gonna start getting my now you might be doing facts on any sort of topic in science. You might be, covering anything to do with science whatsoever. I've just chosen water because it's quite a common one. And then also there's lots of really interesting facts about water. That's a good one. But it might be, I don't know, facts about solids, liquids, and gases. It might be facts about rocks, it might be facts about plants, it might be about photosynthesis, it could be anything like that. Doesn't really matter. I've got these 4, and don't forget, the description to find this, page is in the YouTube description to this video. It will bring you this page here, and then you can just click this button, and hey presto, you'll get the Waterfax too. And if you haven't got that link, you could try a short link. Everyone can use short links in schools, but often you can. And it's bit.ly/NI, so Northern Ireland Waterfax. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my first fact with this one. Almost all Earth's water is in the ocean. Well, actually, maybe I'll just get the title first. Okay, just do that first, 'cause I'm gonna make my titles and my kind of descriptions a bit different, so they're gonna make them look a bit different. So let's go back to Adobe Express, and again, we wanna put some text in. So here on the left-hand side, I'm gonna add text. Click that button, add your text in. It'll give you placeholder text, and it will also default to the same font that you've got in the title, which some people sometimes find useful and other times not. I don't find it particularly useful this time, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna explore more in my fonts and see what comes up. Maybe do you know what? Maybe I might just keep it pretty simple. Let the header or let the title look really cool on its own, and then put this one, and maybe I'll put it in around about here. Okay, almost all Earth's water is in the oceans. Now, it's got that outline on again. Again, it defaults to what you did in the last piece of text, so I'll turn that off. It's slightly slimmer now. What I might do here is, instead of putting a white outline on it, see, again, if you use this little slider, it's how thick it appears. Actually, I might put a black outline on it so it can stand out. There we go. And that just makes it a little bit more readable. Take it up to 3. There you go. It just makes it a little bit more readable against the photo background. Okay. I've got my first bit there, and then I'm gonna get my description. A whopping 96.5% of water on Earth is in our ocean, covering 71% of the surface of our planet. I mean, that is pretty cool. So I'm gonna add my text in here, okay? And again, now that I've changed the font that I used last time, you can see in this one here, it's chosen that same font again, and I'll paste it in. Now that is enormous, absolutely enormous. It's way too big. So again, I can just grab one of the sides and I can bring it down to a kind of a more manageable size, okay? And then paste it into place. Now, there's a few things that I'm not liking here at the moment. One is that it's centering my text. That's the alignment. That means everything is kind of centered down the center. There you go. But I want to center it to the left, or even align it to the left. What I'm saying today. And there we go. Now, we might just make it a tiny bit smaller. And you can see that little dotted line, it's saying, "Hey, all of your text" now it's a green dotted line, not a pink dotted line. The green dotted line is saying, "You're aligning all of your text nicely on that left-hand side there," which is cool. Now, I might, change this font, and this is a different way to change fonts this time. I think the Hobo standard one, I think is quite nice, quite like that. That's quite cool. I like that. It looks more like sort of a bit more of a handwritten text, which I quite like. Now Now that that's done, it's kind of readable against the background, sort of, but it could be more readable, I think. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna select it, and rather than use outline, maybe I'll turn that off. This time, I am gonna use shape. Okay, so I'll toggle that on, and then it's got that yellow background on it, which actually isn't that bad. Well, I'm gonna select something like this green here. Now, there you go. That looks much more readable to me. And another thing you can do here is actually take down the opacity. That means how much you can see through that kind of green background there. And it just means that it helps with the readability, but you can still kind of see through it and see the photo as well. Now you can change the size of this shape as well. So they kind of overlap each other, and then it's quite nice because it kind of becomes a little box with text. Let me zoom in. I'm selecting up here, and then I can go to the 200%, and you see, it's made it this kind of box quite nicely framing this piece of writing here, and you can also still see through the image. So I think that's really cool. I really like it. Now to get back to the screen that we had before, the zoom that we had before, you can just select that and go down to fit, okay? And then you get it back to normal. Now, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna show you a little trick, okay? A little trick, because you've got another 3 facts to go in here. You've got another 3 facts to go in. So doing that every time and selecting all of those different things can be a bit of a challenge. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select my title, okay, and I'm gonna put shift on my keyboard, and then I'm gonna select the next bit of text as well. Now that's all selected, and you know that because it's got this box all the way around it, okay? And then on the right-hand side here, you'll see it says duplicate. Now watch what happens. Click it. We have got the exact same copy of the first one. Now, why is that important? Well, I'll show you why that's important. Because now that I want to do my second fact, all I have to do now is put my second title, and copy it there, and then I'm going to select my text, and all I have to do is paste it in. Now that is exactly the same size and shape as the first little head like subheading that we did there. And you can make sure that it's aligned properly. You can do the same for this piece of text here. You still need to change this one as well. So let me grab my second piece of text here, copy it, select text box number 2 or the big one there, and then again, select that by you can double click it. You can also click it and then click in the box and do Control A, and that will select all your text. And then if I do Control V, which is paste, or right click it and do paste, it's changed my text. Simple as that. Really cool. Now you can check that the sizes of those texts are the same by selecting that green box there. So it's Hobo Standard Medium 16, that's the size of the font. Go here, Hobo Standard Medium 16. You see? That's how you can make things much quicker for yourself when using Adobe Express. Now, here's another trick, which is almost exactly the same as the first one, but actually it took me ages to remember or to even work out that this would be possible too. So now I can select my sort of heading one, press Shift, select my text 2 or text box, my first text box, select my second header, select my second kind of description there, and then I can duplicate all of that again. Okay, there we go. And then drag that down. This is looking pretty cool. I'm liking that a lot. Now, obviously, I've still got to change the text. So let's go through that again. So now I'm going to get my third little header here, select my third duplicated title, paste that in. Very nice. Then I'll select my third piece of text, select that box. Again, go into edit text, paste my new text in there. Let's just check that it's the same size. It was Hobo Standard Medium 16. There it is. Same again. And then I've got to do this last subheading here. Our bodies are mostly water. 55 to 66, 55 to 60%. And then I can go in there, paste it in. Now that one has changed, you see. That's put it onto 2 lines. Let me drag that box out, and this is where you'll have to start playing around with things like alignment. I've got that selected. I might just bring that down ever so slightly, so it's got a bit of space to breathe. That one now that I'm here, actually. And then my final text box, grab this one, copy it, and then again, paste it in. Very nice. So I've got my 4 pieces of, information here, my 4 headings, 4 pieces of information, and the only thing that I'm kind of wanting to do here is drag it down as far to the bottom as possible. Okay, so I'm gonna start doing that with all of mine, just by selecting and grabbing. You can also use your, keyboard as well to do that. That's you know, your arrows, that's fine. And the reason why I want to do this is because I want to kind of be able to show off that photo as much as possible. I do think it is quite spectacular, and I'll show you how you can, play around with that as well. Right, here we go, like that. Feel like that is pretty much aligned how I want it to be. And again, if you ever need to, just click a box and start playing around with it using your arrow keys. Put that one about there. See the alignment, the alignment lines, the alignment lines, there you go, technical term. They are really good for just making sure that you are in the right place. It can get a little bit fiddly, but it's worth it because alignment is key in design, and you really wanna make sure that it all sits in the right place. If it's getting a little bit tricky, you can just use your arrow keys, and quite often I will actually do that, and then here. Now that that's all in place, I'm happy with it. What I'd quite like is this image in the background. You see the way that kind of the iceberg itself is kind of it's being obscured a little bit by the text. So I'm gonna select my image, okay? And then here, you see this little slider here? This is the size one. What I can do is just bring the size up a little bit, 'cause that will give me a little bit of space to bring that iceberg right up above the text. And that's what I wanna do. I wanna bring it right up above the text. There we go. Just so that you can really I mean, if you want to, you can, just put a number in this bit. So maybe I'll put 4, press return, makes it bigger, and actually maybe that's better. Maybe, you know, oh, not 40, not 34. No thanks. Right, there we go. And then again, you might have a little bit of space to play. That iceberg is right slap bang where I want it to. Now, if you want to replace that image, you can. Just keep it selected, press replace here, and that will automatically open up pictures of icebergs on the left-hand side. So maybe I could go for let me see, maybe I'll go for this one. Now this one's a little bit different because it's actually a landscape photo, like a letter, rather than a portrait one, which is the one I selected, which means that, you know, you can drag it around like that, you see. And if you want to have a sort of different slice of the image, you absolutely can. So maybe I'll put it there. I quite like that diagonal line that's going down there. That's quite kinda nice. But it's making the text less visible than it was before. So what I'm gonna do is have that picture selected, might stick a filter on it, maybe a darken filter would be quite cool. Don't wanna darken it too much, a little bit, just to make sure that that text stays nice and readable. Play around with things like multiply is a good one as well. See if any of them make it more readable than what it is now. I think the darken ones would be cool. Maybe just on the first click. 'Cause you see the way it's got those 2 arrows going in intertwining with each other? You can that'll give you different sort of, different levels of darkness that you can put on there. So I'm happy with that. I think that works really well. Now, I'm gonna show you another really cool thing to do as well. I'll go over to photos again, okay? And what do you find, in places like the Arctic and Antarctic where there are, you know, lots of ice and loads of icebergs and things like that and floating ice, where do you find things like polar bears? Okay, so I'm gonna put polar bear in there. Now, this is gonna be pretty cool. I'm gonna select this one, this first one here, and it goes in there. Now I want this to be part of my image, but it has this background on it, which kinda makes it really obvious that it's not part of this at all. So I'm gonna select it, and here's where the magic kicks in. I'm gonna press remove background, wait for it, wait for it. Yeah, look at that. Love it. Click the tick there, and then I can resize it, and then I'm just gonna pop it in the background there. Gonna pop it in, and then I could, put a filter on it. I could darken it up so it kinda matches what we've got. Kinda makes it look a little bit more natural. You can also change the orientation with just using a little, rotate button there. Like that, sort of a polar bear in the background. But let me do another one. Let me have one right on the top of this kind of iceberg here. I like the fact that this has got crazy colours in it. It'll make it really stand out. Again, I'll use the remove background tool. Wait for it. Yeah, there it is, nice. And then, I don't think I'm gonna change the colour on this one too much because I like the fact that it looks really jazzy. Maybe I could put it down here. Yeah, that's nice. Maybe we can make it bigger. So you can have fun with this and just play around. Yeah, I like that. Maybe it's a mother searching for, its baby that's got lost. But again, if you wanted to, you could put the filters on there. I'm kinda feeling like I don't wanna put one on there, so I'm gonna take it off. There we go. I think that looks really cool. I'm really happy with it. Now, I'm going to download it. Now, this is another reason why naming your file is a really good idea, because then you can download it as a PNG, start download, and then you'll see the bottom left of my computer, there we go, Waterfax PNG, perfect. And then you can also share, publish, and then press 2. You can go Google Classroom, share it that way, share it Microsoft Teams, or you can press the link button, and in a matter of seconds, it will give us a link that we can share with whoever we like. So let's get it out here, and then we can have a look at what it looks like in a browser. There we go. All I have to do is click it, copy it, stick it in another tab, and there we go. There are my water packs. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick, music on for about 7 minutes, and then you're gonna have a go yourselves. I'll do one in the background as well, so if you wanna follow on and, I'll do another version. If you wanna see some tips while I'm doing it, see what I'm clicking and things like that, you're more than welcome to. Let me press play on the music. There we go. Then what I'm gonna do is get going online. Okey dokey. So to start off, you can go to home. This is how I started. You can start however you like. I did press the plus, custom size graphic, on to print, import, next. Might go for a slightly different vibe this time. Oh, this is a good one. If we take it away from glasses, just go normal water. That's the background. That's where you can add your image to the background. There you go. I'll also put a little banner on here. If you want to share work, you're more than welcome to. There's an anonymous way to share work. So you can send in your work at any time. That's absolutely fine. Just put it up in case you can see it. The first thing would be to put your title in. Oops, we're going to the wrong screen now. Text in. Like I showed you before, if you ever need to, as you can see, some of my water facts and the text is getting lost here. And you can also put a little outline on and then I'll change the actual text itself to white. There we go. And again, don't forget, you can always look at font recommendations. Now, sometimes when your text actually white, it's quite hard to see these font recommendations, but I can kind of see them on this one as well. Well, that's quite cool. Now that I've got that, here's a cool little tip. You can space out your letter. Nice. And then that outline is a bit chunky for my liking. Put it down to 4. There we go. Try to remember how we put our text in here. We can. Ooh, what have I done here? Oh, I actually put both the title and the text in there. And again, you can just stretch out whenever you need to. Okay, now that as a font really isn't working for me at all. I'll switch that one. I want to get it all onto one line. Now it is still letter spacing is really big. I'll bring that down. I get it all into one line. I feel like reducing that letter spacing right now. You can decide whether you want the outline on there. Maybe I don't need it for this one. And then again, for your second section, pop it in there. And the one I was using was for the sort of description pieces of text was hobo. There we go. And don't forget, I was aligning I didn't want it to be aligned to the center. I wanted it to be aligned to the left. There we go. There we go, that's quite nice. What I might do with the background is put a filter in it. That's nice, very classy. Yeah, I like it when it's quite dark, actually. But don't forget, this is how we did all 4 facts. We got the first section, clicked it, press shift, click the next one, and then duplicated it. So you should be doing your own here now. This is where you should be doing your own. And I'm just doing stuff in case you've forgotten how we might do certain things. Don't forget I'm duplicating all of my blocks and replacing the text. And then to go from 2 to 4, dead easy. Select them both. You can do it on anything you like, but if you want to use this placeholder text, then use that. But if you've got your own facts or you want to do it on something different, that's absolutely. Now, before I select those two, I just want to play with the alignment a bit, and then I'll maybe even more again. Just needs to nudge it over to the left. And this is how you go to 2 boxes to 4 boxes, really. Yeah. Yeah. And then once you've put that in the kind of position that we want it to, nice. If you want to bring it all down to the bottom as well, click and drag over all of those pieces, and then just start nudging it down. It does take longer using the arrow keys, but sometimes it's more accurate. Because the number of words is slightly different in each box, you probably will need to go in afterwards and just play around with alignment. See, that one's gone on to 2 lines again. Okay. That's come out quite nicely. You see the alignment here needs to change. Yes. And there's slightly more space in the bottom two than there are on the top two. And let me click and drag over those ones. Move my back. There we go. I'll tell you one thing that I'm thinking is that actually this title, I think I want it to match this one here. So that's Webas New Regular. So you can click that one. Look at this Westgate thing. Start typing in Webas New Regular. There we go. What have we got? There we go. That's better. I kind of feel like less fonts is probably better here. But actually, maybe I want to put it in capitals. Well, this is where the letter spacing is not working so well. Right, now that's in the center. That's when you can start playing with the letter spacing. There we go, nice. Happy with that. Don't forget how you download, that kind of thing. Right, download by pressing there, and then share by pressing there. Okay, cool. We'll take a look to see if anyone shared anything towards the end. But now we're going to move on and show you how to, let me just take the music off. There we go. And show you how to take these Waterfax again and then actually create a video. So here, again, if you want to pause, you can pause at any time. That's absolutely fine. If you've still got work to do, if you don't want to go on to the next one yet, that's fine. But I'll show you how to do that. And this time I'll press the big plus again, and then I'll go down to, where is it? Video. See there? Video. Okay, cool. So let's give it the same title, Waterfax. Let's do Waterfax video. Okay. Now, once you click next, it says, do you want to use a template? Well, I actually don't want to use a template at all. So, I could pick one of those if I wanted to, and they are quite good, but I'm going to start from scratch mostly because I've already got a kind of a script here. I've already got a script, so I'm not really too bothered about using a template. So I'm going to start from scratch. Okay, so the first thing I'll do is, again, get my title. And while, there we go, it's loaded now. And then, so this is how you use Adobe Express Video, okay? You have different layouts here: full screen, split screen, caption, title and text. Got different themes. Maybe I'll do a different theme, actually. Maybe I'll do a statement theme and do like a sort of a deep blue, because we are doing it about water, so that's good. Things like music. You can test out any of these just by clicking the play button that appears. Test them out and listen to them, see what you like. When you've got one that you think is pretty cool, maybe I'll do this rousing one, bringing change. I think I quite like that one. And you can, just play around with the volume, but you won't really know about the volume until you start doing your voiceover, okay? Until you start doing your voiceover. So I'll come out of that just by clicking music again. It's going to turn itself off. No, let's go back to layout. And I think I'll start with title and text. Okay, so here I'll go, my title will be Waterfax. Okay. And then I'm just going to put like by Dom Trainer, because that's me. Right, now for my background, I can go and find some video if I want, or I'll go for a photo. I think I'll just do photos in this one. And then here, maybe I'll do like waterfall, something like that. Hey, cool. What have we got? Hey, this is a good one. I like that. Yeah, it's almost as if that's me, which I really like. And then you can see that spinning wheel just means that the photo is rendering itself. Now it's done. Perfect. You can play around with, where that sits by using the zoom in and zoom out. But don't zoom out too far, because then you start getting these stripes down the side, and that doesn't look very good. So there we go. Perfect. Now, to record a voiceover, you just click the button there and then record your voice. Simple as that. Waterfax by Dom Trainer. So I kind of paused at the start after I'd clicked it, kept it held down, and then paused at the end to let it go, because I wanted that photo, which is so cool, to stay on the screen as much as possible. Now, with the text, you can grab it and put it somewhere else. There you go. That's quite good, just above his head. Or her head, could be a girl. And then if you want to play any of your slides, you can, press this little button here. Once you've got more than one slide, you can play multiple slides by using this play button down the bottom. But either way, you can check your work there. And then to get another scene in there, or another slide, some people call it, so scenes or slides, you just press the plus. And this is where we're going to start taking our titles. Okay. Now, what I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to go for caption layout. Okay. Now, I'll put my text in there. Now, you won't really see the full effect of this until you put a photo in the background. So let's get a photo, and instead of waterfall, we're talking about oceans here. I'll go for oceans. Maybe I'll put ocean and see if there's a different. Yeah, there we go. This is what I'm looking for. I want something like really sort of really wow in here. Oh, that's a nice one. Okay, you can see the way in a caption layout, it kind of puts a background on it. But actually that caption is really quite big. So I'll click it and then reduce that down, because I want the photo to do the talking here, really. And then I'll pop that up in the top right there. And then again, all you have to do here is you've got different options, and I'll show you this first option. Just let me get my words up here so I can read them off. So I'm going to read this here. Okay, now a sort of cheat way of doing it, which is actually a pretty good way of doing it, in fact, is actually to put this text on the screen, and then afterwards you can delete it, right? But while you're doing your voiceover, you can put it on the screen and then just click. A whopping 96.5% of water on Earth is in our oceans, covering 71% of the surface of our planet. And at any given time, about 0.001% is floating above us in the atmosphere. If all of that water fell as rain at once, the whole planet would get about an inch of rain. There we go. And again, if you want to play it from the start, you will get, let it load, you'll get your start bit with your introduction. Then it will go on to your next slide and you'll be able to listen to that, see if you like it, see if the music fits, see if might want to change that text. Now I do want to change that text, so I'm going to press the X in the top here. And actually I want to get rid of this and I want to just let my voice do that instead of having it all on screen. I want them to listen to my voice, and I also want to make sure that this image can be seen, so I don't want loads of text on that one. If you want to swap your image, it's dead easy. You just click it and then you can search for something else. Why not something like this one? Wow, check that out. That's pretty cool. Quite like that. So that's how you can mix it up. And then I'm going to go for another slide just by pressing the X in the bottom, and it gives me number 3. Now you can reorder these dead easily just by going like that. And for this one, this is where I'm going to put my text on screen. Okay, so I'm going to press split screen, and here I'm going to look at this section here. So instead of actually reading out this text, I'm going to put it in here. Now, when I click off the screen, it will kind of reformat itself and boop, there you go. Very nice. It kind of censors itself so it looks very professional. And then on the right-hand side, it's talking about, what am I saying? I'm talking about glaciers, actually. So maybe we'll go to glaciers here. Go into a photo and put glacier. There we go. And again, it's talking about 68% of the Earth's fresh water is locked up in ice and glaciers. So there we go. There's a few water prisons there, which look quite cool. And you can flip this. So it goes from left to right or right to left, and it changes just subtly, how the text appears or how the background it appears. And I think, which one do I like best? Maybe that one. And now for my voiceover here, rather than read this out, I think actually I'm just going to read out the title. Literally, that's it. And I'll show you why, or things that you can do with that. So here we go. Most fresh water is in ice. Now, this has made this clip into a 4-second clip. Into a 4-second clip. Okay. Now, I want my viewer or my readers to be able to read that as much as possible. So I'm going to click it. And then what am I going to do here? Well, actually, I was going to try and extend this, but let me remove narration first and then go here and then extend my clip as much as I want it to be, readable, the text on screen. I can do something like that. Okay. Let me put another little slide in here. And then I think the only thing we haven't used so far is the full screen. So let me just show you that. And then a lot can live in one drop of water. I'll grab that. I'll put that in as a full screen thing here. A lot can live in a drop of water. And then in the background, I'll go for a maybe like leaking tap. Or I could go for water droplets. Something like that. Hey, very nice. There we go. I mean, that is absolutely perfect. This image library is absolutely unbeatable. So once that image is rendered in the background, I can click the text and maybe I'll bring this down as much as possible. And then again, you see, you can just place it in different places so that this perfect water droplet can be seen perfectly. And let me just record a bit of voiceover for this bit as well. There can be a lot going on in a single drop of ocean water. It will most likely have millions, yes, millions of bacteria and viruses. Now you see there, I kind of stumbled over my words there. And that's not a problem because you can either click here and say remove narration, or you can just record again and it'll go straight over the top. There can be a lot going on in a single drop of ocean water. It will most likely have millions, yes, millions, of bacteria and viruses. And it could also have fish eggs, baby crabs, plankton, or even small worms. There we go. Now, for my last section here, I'll show you how to do something. You might not want to do it. You might want to do it. It depends. Sometimes I think in these, the photos look so good that I kind of don't want to use things like icons, but let's use an icon. Okay, so we're talking about newborn babies, 78% water. So let's go for an icon, and I go for a baby here. There we go. There's a newborn baby. And then the right-hand side, you can either you can stick some text in here. So why don't we do that? And then here, I might put in all my text. There we go. And then read my voiceover. A newborn baby is 78% water. Adults are 55 to 60% water. It's a big part of the blood that brings nutrients to all our cells. It helps us regulate our body temperature. It also acts as a shock absorber for our brain and spinal cord. And there you go. Very simple, very easy to do. And again, you can flick that over. Now, in this particular video with these facts, doesn't matter what order they go in. So I actually think it would be really nice to end it on this droplet here, because I just think it looks so good. So that's how you can mix up the order. And maybe I'll put that one in there, because I don't really want two split layouts next to each other. I think that's a waste. You know, that one goes straight into that one. I don't think that's particularly good design. So maybe I'll move this one over there. And again, if you want to preview your work, you can either press the preview button up here, or you can press the play down there, and it will play the whole thing for you with your music, with your voiceovers. You can check it all. You can see whether the split layout looks good there, whether it's on for a long enough time, for example, so that people can read the words before your slide moves on. Depends how fast someone reads, I suppose. And then work out whether your voiceover is working, you know, whether you always want to do titles or whether you want to do the description, the whole description itself. That's completely up to you. And you can also see how long your video is here. You can see it 1 minute 12. And while that's going, I can share things like, you know, if you want to download it, it will be able to download. But the other thing that you can't do at the same time is then press share. Oh, well, actually it is. It's allowed me to do it. Oh no, there you go. Please wait, downloading in progress. I was expecting that to come up and it didn't. So I can share my link once my video finishes downloading. So what I'll do is, rather than make us wait for this blue line to go all the way across, I'll just get rid of that. Yeah, stop downloading it. And I'll press share, publish, and then create a link. Now, what it'll do here is, you know, certainly on the browser version, it will give you a video, and I'm going to copy that. It'll give you a video link, and I'm going to put that in here. And it said, oh no, it's not ready yet. And it's not ready yet because it hasn't actually finished what's called rendering, which is where it's making the images and the text all kind of sit in one nice pizza pie, just there ready for it to be seen by somebody else. And again, you have to wait there until that goes right until the end. Now, you can close that window because that's still preparing in there. That's fine. And, you know, don't forget things like the theme. You can change the, you know, the colors that you're using and things like that, whatever you want to do, because it will, if you just hover over, it will actually show you what the transitions are like in this particular theme. So the mega one's kind of like a circle kind of bloom. The stage one, I don't really use that one much. It's kind of like drifts in and out from one to the other. But you can go and find whichever one you like, and also it will give you a range of colors as well, whatever you want. But I'm going to keep mine in the statement, keep mine in the blue, because I like that blue theme. I think it's good for the water one. Right, off you go and carry on making yours. Hopefully you're making it at the same time. But if not, you've got a few minutes here where you can crack on and do yours. And I'm just going to wait for my link to work. There we go, I can copy my link, and if I actually go back to my video here, refresh the page, you see, video's there already, which is nice. One thing it is telling me is that I made some changes, because I went through and had a look at other themes, remember that? Maybe that one would be a good one, actually. Quite like it. Gives a little filter on the photos and things like that. And you can always check it by going in here. Maybe I don't like it actually that much. Maybe I'll change it to this color here. Feels more, you know, deep blue of the oceans, and you can see it changes the font in there as well. But always go and have a look and see if it's what you like. You click on different parts. Quite like that one actually. It looks quite cool. But one thing to note is that the changes that you made there won't actually be reflected in your work until you press share, publish, and update your link. And that will make those changes, like the change in the theme, for example, it will make it come out in this public video that you've made. And you can play that. That is, you can embed that into websites, into things like Adobe Express page, for example, and also Google Sites, things like that. Okay. If you want to, you can update the link, and it will just go through that same process again, which might take a while. Even though it's one doesn't change, actually it needs to render the whole thing from the start again, so you will go through this kind of slower process of creating your link here. I'll close that for now. Right, let me just go back and let's have a look at what we did today. Let's turn off that music. There we go. So we've got a graphic that we did. There we go, Waterfax graphic. Nice. Same for facts, but it's presented in a way which is much more easy on the eye, or much more readable, or much more attractive, I suppose, to the reader or to the viewer, compared to like a Google Doc or a Word doc, for example. And then we've also got our video, which we made, and there it is in its published form. Okay, there they are, our two Adobe Express challenges for Northern Ireland Science Week. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it really easy. You can watch back this recording at any point if you want to revisit some of the things. You can also skip back if you're a little bit further ahead. However you want to do it is absolutely fine. The same link that you're viewing it on now will be viewable forever, for all time. So you can go back at any point and just have a look and see what you think. All right. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you being here, and enjoy the rest of Science Week. Okay. Have a good one.